Ha! In your face, fly. Howdy guys and gals, I'm Kyle Broderick. You're staring down the barrel of the Social Regressive. You're also staring down the barrel of the CMMG Mark III DTR2, which is one of the finest rifles I've ever had a chance to shoot. It's semi-automatic, so it's fast between shots, and it is precise. This is a heavy AR-10 style rifle, 24-inch stainless barrel with kind of a varmint profile to it. Very heavy, you don't want to shoot this offhand. It's definitely a prone rifle, but in those prone situations, this thing is a lot of fun, and it's proving itself to be very, very precise. The ammo that we have been shooting is 140 grain BTHP from Hornady, and these are my own hand loads. This is using Federal Champion brass, some bench rest primers, and a certain amount of Reloader 16. And these have been shooting down around a half MOA, a little bit tighter than that, and with standard deviations of velocity down in the single digits. I think this one is down around 4.5 feet per second standard deviation of velocity. This ammo just plain smokes. It is awesome. And we've had a chance so far to test this ammo and this rifle, this whole setup, in a couple of scenarios so far, and I'm going to be trickling these videos out little by little. First off, a little bit later we're going to be shooting at about 1,000 yards, and we're just shooting at kind of a large target in a field. We're going to do some hunting videos later on, where hopefully I'm kind of working with a vendor right now to get some thermals and some night vision on this and another rifle, and we're going to try to do some hog hunting and or coyote hunting out in a field at night, total dark, and we're going to get some really good footage out of that. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. But the challenge that we're looking at today is one that I've already done with a Stevens 200 and 308 Winchester, and this is shooting moving targets at various ranges, and that was mostly highlighting the Boyd's at one stock. So we have that video with the moving target challenge, and a bunch of my friends shooting that rifle and really enjoying it. And then we have the review as well, and I'm going to link to both of those videos around here somewhere. Look for those, because those really were it was a really fun challenge, and I'm really just a big fan of this stock, and so were the other guys. But yeah, we're doing that same challenge. It was actually the same day with this rifle, and we didn't even start shooting until we got back to 200 yards. 100 yards would just be kind of silly. So we went to 200, 300, and then back to 600 to see if we could hit a moving target going by. Before we jump into the footage on this challenge, I just have to thank the appropriate people. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Kedrick. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you to CMMG for sending the rifle for us to play with. To Bushnell for the scope that we're continuing to play with. I'm going to talk about some of the hardware on here a little bit later, but then also thank you to the patrons of the Destructive Arts that make this sort of thing possible. They're the ones that are buying the some of the reloading supplies that I'm using here, like the bullets. And here's just a really quick preview. Another reason to subscribe to the channel, make sure that you do. This right here, this is a brand new type of bullet. You probably haven't even heard of these before. You've heard of Speer Gold Dot bullets for pistols. Like, it's just kind of the standard for especially 9mm loads. Everybody talks about how good they are in the ballistic tests and going through denim and all that. Well, guess what? Speer now has Gold Dot rifle bullets. These are designed for law enforcement, for tactical-ish stuff, for self-defense. And I'm going to be testing these out in my own hand loads to see how these perform. It's going to be a lot of fun. So now, again, thank you to the patrons of the Destructive Arts for making all this possible. Let's go check out the footage. As I get set up to shoot at 200 yards, let's talk about the hardware that's on this rifle. First off, at the front, you're going to notice a strange looking bipod. It doesn't attach to the bottom of the handguard, it actually attaches to the sides. This is a design that has been around for a while on some much more expensive guns. I think the first time I saw this was on a Barrett or something, but this is actually just a $55 bipod that so far is proving to be the most stable bipod that I've ever used. Because of the way that it attaches, its wide stance, and just the lack of moving parts, it's very lightweight. It doesn't have a lot of the bulk that you're going to get from other bipods, and the rifle just kind of nestles down inside the bipod for a very, very stable rest. When we were shooting at 1,000 yards, it just felt very, very comfortable. And here today, same thing as well. I'm going to release a full video on a review of this bipod. Make sure that you check that out, and I'll link to it down here once I've released that. I think it's going to be next week. Next up on top, you're going to see the Bushnell HDMR2, and this is a scope that I have previously reviewed. I just love it. It pulls in a lot of light, has a large objective, and it has one of the best reticles in the world, the Horus H59. This is a wonderful reticle for being able to hit targets without adjusting your turrets or anything. This is designed as a designated marksman style reticle, and all you have to do is just get to your appropriate point as far as windage goes and as elevation goes, take your shot, and it's just very precise all around.
That looks solid.
That one felt good.
That is a hit in the front chest.
You hit him in the front of his chest, not the back of his chest.
There you go. He's going a little faster now.
He stopped.
Oh, this is the shot.
God! Psych! Bastards!
Oh, don't tell me that ain't fun.
I had it going. Okay, you hit him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there he is. Oh, that's going to be a little behind. Should still be a hit.
That is a clean target.
Dang. Acknowledged. Womp womp. Oh, now I let it do it. That looked good. That looked good.
Yeah, it did.
You hit him somewhere. Good job. That looked good, man. All right, leading shoulder.
Good shot.
Center mass. That's a hit. Good one.
Center mass. Told you.
The conditions for this shoot were a little bit wild. We had a very strong wind, roughly 25 miles an hour for most of the day, and it finally backed off to about 15 miles an hour by the time we got back to 600 yards. Thankfully, the wind was mostly to our back, so we didn't have to worry too much about windage. All we had to do was deal with lead. As far as hardware goes, we had two difficulties with this shoot. First, the bipod, that stability can actually be a bit of a liability. It's the old adage where your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. When it comes to shooting long-range targets, this is the bipod I want. But if you're dealing with especially closer moving targets where you have to be more dynamic, this bipod is just a little bit too stable. So you end up actually kind of dragging the feet around on the ground as you track with a moving object. This is not one that wants to twist, can't pivot, it doesn't want to move, and that made some of the shots actually a little bit more difficult. As we stepped back, they became easier just because the motions that we were making were smaller. The other issue that we encountered was with some stoppages, and I think this was a combination of the rifle possibly being just a little bit under-gassed and being under-lubed. So what I did is I lubed this thing up, and I actually considered opening up the gas port a little bit. This does have a tunable muzzle brake. This isn't one of the adjustable ones that you can adjust on the fly, but it does have a couple of set screws in there that you can back off if you want to get a little bit more gas going down the pipe. I didn't take that route. I just went ahead and lubed up a little bit more, and we had no more stoppages for the rest of the day or for any of the subsequent shoots.
Now I got these for now.
Oh, that's close.
Miss! Miss!
That's a miss. I'm doing 2 miles an hour.
Yep, there's those.
Center. Just about 11 o'clock from dead center. About 2 inches from dead center, left and right.
Nice job.
Nice shoot.
Here,
I went out with a bang.
take a couple more.
Huh?
There's 3 more rounds in there.
Oh, nice.
We loaded up 6.
Okay. Shooter ready.
As you might expect, the rifle was completely up to the challenge. We have very precise ammo, we have a very precise gun, and when it comes to recoil, we were able to get back on target extremely quickly. That muzzle brake out at the end, which looks minuscule and it looks like it might not work all that well, is actually surprisingly effective. Couple that with the AR-10 buffer system and the recoil system there, and the rifle just does not want to come off target. It jumps right back on after you take your shot. It just kind of shakes around a little bit and then it's right back on. This is a wonderful rifle to shoot in a fast scenario like this.
12 inches from center mass at 7:30.
That was way too off. That went too much.
Yes.
I think that was trailing, not sure. Yeah, that was trailing. That was trailing by a lot.
Huh.
That was it.
That was good.
It's 2 inches from center mass at 10 o'clock.
I'm still behind.
Miss.
Keep going.
Alright, definitely got to lead it by more than a...
That one looked
Yep,
pretty
that was
good.
a hit right in the noggin.
Yeah.
So it looks like a little bit high. You're probably about 18 inches high. Unless, of course, you were shooting for his head, which Cakes, great job.
Oh yeah, I was definitely aiming for the head. That was low left.
Beautiful. All right, that was leading him by about 3 inches, but dead center mass.
Dead center mass leading him by 3 inches.
Holy crap, you guys. Wow, okay, that was the trailing lung. Nice shot.
Trailing lung. Don't even give a chance to move.
Don't get cocky. You better not just be throwing that ammo away. It's expensive.
Make sure you subscribe to The Social Regressive so you don't miss any of the upcoming challenges. We're going to be hunting, we're going to be doing long-range shooting, and one that I did not mention earlier is that we will actually be trying to shoot this rifle at a mile. Those bullets are going to be subsonic for over 200 yards. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of that. We also have an upcoming project rifle with the Savage 12 FV. I have all the parts in, and basically I'm just waiting to get shooting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay connected, exciting videos are on their way. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Even if you didn't like this particular content, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably something coming that's more up your alley. Check out this playlist right here. This is going to have videos in a similar vein to what you just watched. These 2 videos we cherry-picked for you. And finally, The Social Regressive is on Patreon. So, you can become a patron of the Destructive Arts and earn some goodies while helping us to provide high-quality videos just by kicking us a few bucks a month. Thanks a bunch for your patronage.